Hello friends, and welcome to another video. It is Friday, I believe the 25th of February, which how February is almost over, I don't know. I feel like it came and went so freaking fast, but we're gonna vlog today. It's gonna be a good one. We're gonna do a full day of eating, which I know you guys love, so I try to do them very consistently. But this is gonna be a fun one because I am a few days into my little mini lifestyle cut. So I do at the end of this video, kind of like my goals for this cut, talk you guys through kind of like how I'm approaching it, and also give you guys 5 signs that you're ready to start a cut, because I know a lot of us want to lean out a little bit for summer, or maybe you don't, but like eventually you want to go through a cut, and maybe you just want to learn some things. And like one of the biggest issues that I see that leads women to failing their diet or not seeing the progress that they want is that they're just not ready to start a cut, or their body's not ready to start a cut. But right now it's like 9 a.m. I've been up for a minute. I'm actually gonna train later today because I was dog sitting for my friend Casey, the cutest little golden doodle. I had to give her back this morning, so that's where I was all morning, so kind of cut into my training time. It is 30 degrees. 2 days ago it was 80 degrees, which was lovely, but it's been so cold the past few days. I could not fathom going and walking to Starbucks, especially after my little dog walk. I was so cold. So we're just gonna make some cold brew here. I need some caffeine and I wanna get started with work. This is the cold brew I use. It is so good. So I'm adding a little bit of cashew milk, and this sugar-free creamer. It is hazelnut, which I've never been drawn to like hazelnut coffee stuff, but it's actually quite good. And then I do just a little bit of stevia. So usually I use my cute little, I bought these cute mason jars on Amazon, but they are in the wash right now. So we will use this cup just so you guys can see it. That's how much cold brew I'm putting in. Honestly, usually I do a little less, but I don't have that much milk left, and I like her to be full. Oh yeah. Let me do just the rest of the cashew milk. See, even that's good, but I literally am just, I don't even want my coffee to taste like coffee at this point. And then I do a little bit of creamer. Ooh, she's pretty. Mix her around. So I feel like my meals, so we'll do a full day of eating. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna get into today. I might go hang out with friends later. I'm not sure if we're gonna get dinner. So this is kind of like a play it by ear. I will be tracking my macros during my lean bulk. I was taking weekends off of tracking, but now I'm gonna track on the weekends. Still take a free meal and all of that stuff, but just want to be more consistent. So first thing I'm putting in my body, besides my water, which I have sitting on my water bottle. So yeah, with that, I'm gonna go get some work done. We are making breakfast, and I'm actually making some French toast. I always get asked how I make it, and I forgot to show you guys, but all I ever do, you definitely can't see that, but I just pour egg whites in here, so I'll just weigh out the egg whites that I want to use, and then I just added salt, a little bit of stevia, and where did I put that? Yeah. Cinnamon. So that's what I do, and then I just dip the bread in the egg whites and cook them on the pan. Don't mind me not using a spatula. Sometimes it just be like that. I'm just gonna cook the rest of the egg whites, which sweet egg whites are actually really freaking good. If you've never tried that and you have a sweet tooth, definitely do. I tried it during prep, and honestly it just makes making French toast so much easier and like easier to get in your protein. Here we have it. So I just put some raspberries and blackberries on the side. Raspberries are actually a really good source of fiber. If you have trouble getting your fiber in, have some raspberries. I did want a little bit of fiber, some micronutrients in my breakfast. I know a lot of people just think of veggies, but fruit has a ton of vitamins too. But then I have my French toast. I did a whole egg for a little bit more fat. There's some in the bread, and then obviously protein in the egg whites and the egg as well. Okay, so my kitchen's a freaking disaster right now, but it's literally only an hour and a half later. I'm not making another meal to eat right now, but I'll show you when it's done. I'm making some pasta because I really want to post a reel today, and I just keep forgetting to make the last piece of it, which is this pasta. I'm doing 4 ways to use like ground beef burgers that I prepped. And I know because of how my day's laid out, I won't get it up if I don't make it right now. So I'm just gonna make it and eat it later. And I'm like, this is why I train in the morning, because it's like 11 and like I've had a lot of like meetings and calls that have come up and literally just been booked today for today. And I'm like, when I don't have the gym in the middle of the day, that's not stressful. Like I can make it work, but now I feel like I'm like very overwhelmed by it. So, and I'm like sitting here like waiting for clients to send check-ins and stuff. So anyways, here is the final product. Basically, I just took this package of pasta. It's Hearts of Palm pasta from Trader Joe's. I've had it sitting in my cabinet for forever. It's like basically low-carb pasta. It actually tastes pretty good. And I remember when I bought it, I was like, oh, it's just pre-packaged pasta that someone on Instagram had recommended. And then I realized it's like low-carb pasta. It's 13 carbs for all of that pasta. It's literally just Hearts of Palm. But anyways, decided to use this today because it's been sitting in my cabinet for forever since your girl's eating all the carbs right now. Still. And I don't know, I just didn't feel like cooking a whole thing of pasta. I made a bunch of burgers for meal prep and I just ground it up in there, and then I took frozen broccoli, spinach, and put some Parmesan cheese on top. Oh, and did also use some of this red pepper, spicy red pepper tomato sauce, which I like a lot. Okay, so when I did train in the afternoon, this was like my go-to pre-workout. I still eat rice cakes in the morning, just not as doctored up. Yeah, I feel like you guys, if you watch like my last 2 videos, you're probably like, this bitch literally just eats rice cakes and cream of rice. And I was like, I'm gonna have a different pre-workout. And then I realized I really need to go to the grocery store. And this like rice cakes just sit very well for me. So pre-workout, you really wanna focus on simple carbs. I really don't like being full in the gym. And that's why I opt for rice cakes. They just don't fill me up. And they are very fast digesting carbs. So, I use the caramel ones. So, they have more carbs than the plain ones, and they just taste better. And then I did 2 with peanut butter. Just good old Skippy Natural. And then the other 2, I have whipped cream cheese. If you've never had whipped cream cheese, it like spreads so much better. And then I put some egg whites on top for protein, which it sounds weird, but it's like the sweet and the savory. It just works. Next thing that I am consuming, I'm just bringing this to the gym, are these recovery aminos, which honestly, guys, getting like BCAAs, but they're kind of bullshit. They're not going to do anything. If you want the full benefit, get essential amino acids. But basically, what these are amino acids, but they also have a lot of electrolytes in them, which a lot of people don't realize how important having good electrolyte balance is when you train. So like sodium, potassium, magnesium, all those are so important. And I just realized I have not had much salt today. Like, I do salt my food, but I didn't like salt those rice cakes or anything. So one, salt all your food, but I also just like always bring these to train with me, and that sour blue gummy flavor, phenomenal. Okay, definitely did not film. I didn't think about the fact it was rush hour, so by the time we got to the gym, I was like, let's fucking go. And we ended up like not training together. But I'm about to go over to my friend Sarah's for a girls' night. I'm running very late because of traffic. So I'm just gonna warm up this meal. It came in very convenient. Just gonna warm that up while I rinse myself off, and then I'm gonna eat that and head over. Definitely post-workout, you wanna prioritize carbs, and my carbs are still pretty high. Okay, I'm still eating 250 grams of carbs at the start of this cut. But I'm gonna have a couple glasses of wine there, so I'll just use the rest of my carbs there. Definitely not like the best approach to nutrition, especially post-workout, but it is what it is. I hate microwaving my food. Like, I will always warm it up in the pan. It does taste significantly better. But this is not bad. Low calorie, like, things. Like, I would way rather have, like, I don't know, like, regular peanut butter than, like, PB2 or, like, a real cookie than, like, a healthy cookie, whatever. Like, I will always choose, like, the real thing. And I still would, definitely, over this pasta. But I remember eating, like, shiitake noodles and, like, all these, like, low-calorie things. I would tell myself spaghetti squash, which I like spaghetti squash, but I would tell myself it tasted like pasta. It doesn't. And neither does this really, to be honest, but it's way better than most, like, low-calorie ones I've tried. So, if you're on poverty macros, definitely give this a go. Yeah, I thought we were gonna be getting, like, takeout or something at Sarah's, and, like, we're not. She's like, I already ate. Sometimes it'd be like that. It is 10 p.m. I ended up not eating or drinking anything there. So, I'm very behind on food. I am gonna hit my macros still. I know that I can. I just have to have a calorie-dense meal. So what I typically recommend, by the way, if you are behind on food or like you miss a meal because you're out for a long time, I'll typically just like combine meals, if that makes sense. So make one meal really big and just make sure I eat things that aren't filling. There's that. I'm gonna have a glass of wine because yes, it is 10 p.m. I'll sleep in a little bit tomorrow. Sleeping in for me is like 7:30 probably, but I never weigh out my wine, just FYI. There's a lot of things that I don't weigh out. I've had many a glass of wine and I know what it looks like, you know. Clean up a little bit because I just feel like my apartment looks like a tornado went through it because I ended up getting pulled into so much work this morning. And I'm gonna make my last meal quite large. It's gonna be great. Old same old. But that is actually a lot of food. Typically did like double what I usually do, which like almost 100 grams of cream of rice, which like 100 and something grams of cream of rice is a lot of cream of rice. I added a scoop of the Beam vegan birthday cake, and then I did a whole egg for some extra protein and fat, and then I just added a little bit more almond butter. And then you guys know usually I do banana, but I'm out of banana, so I did blueberries. Frozen blueberries on top of warm cream of rice is so good. They literally they kind of like melt. Doing a Q&A on my Instagram today. I'm not answering this question because a lot of people would not get value from it. But someone asked what my favorite sugar-free syrup is. This is it. Beautiful. I was gonna wrap up this I wouldn't even say realistic because this is not my like normal routine, but very just like normal, go with the flow, full day of eating. Oh, I'll definitely keep you guys posted and do more full days of eating as my food gets lower. Right now, it's not super low, but I'm head to bed. And in the morning, I'll catch up with you guys, fill you in on kind of how I'm approaching this cut, and make sure that you are ready if you want to start a summer cut that you have everything in place to fucking crush it. Okay, so we are back to wrap up this video. And just to finish everything off, like I mentioned, want to kind of talk through how I am starting this little fat loss phase, kind of what my goals are, and then talk through a few things that if you are considering going through, a fat loss phase, need to make sure are in check. A, to make sure that it is as seamless and as easy as possible, that you're not like hitting these plateaus, that you're able to actually see progress, and just that you have a good experience overall. So, we'll start off there. I see so many women go into a fat loss phase and they're just either physically not ready, their body is not ready, it is not going to respond, or they are mentally not ready and can kind of worsen their relationship with food, with their body. And I definitely have been in both scenarios, and that's why I really want to talk through this with you guys. So I'm just going to give you a few pointers. So first and foremost, you just want to make sure that your food is in a really good place. I'm not saying that you have to have been in a massive surplus in order to go into a deficit. There are a lot of women who you can be in kind of like a maintenance phase before you go into a deficit in a fat loss phase. But if you're starting a fat loss phase and your maintenance calories are at like 1600, that's kind of where your like average intake is. To go into a deficit, typically it's going to take about a 500 calorie drop. You're kind of off the bat going to be eating pretty low food, and how it works during a fat loss phase is your body's going to adapt, right? So you're going to have to continue decreasing food and increasing cardio. And if you're already starting your fat loss phase, let's say at like 1300 calories or something, where do you expect to drop food, right? Like, you're going to be miserable, and if your food gets super, super low, your body probably will be in a very stressed state and won't respond. For myself, during my growing phase, I got my calories up to about 2700. So I was starting at a really good place. The last few weeks I got my finger cut on my pump cord. The last few weeks I didn't like adjust food. I just kind of was maintaining, but like at these higher calories. So I started in a really good place. The other thing is you don't want to be doing excessive amounts of cardio prior to your fat loss phase for a similar reason to the food, right? Like, you get to create that calorie deficit through decreasing food and also increasing energy expenditure. If you're already doing like 30 minutes of cardio every single day, yes, you could create that deficit just through dropping food, but at some point you're probably gonna want to add in more cardio, and most of us don't want to be doing like 2 hours of cardio every single day for a lifestyle cut. I really was not prioritizing cardio. Like, I weight train, I try to get in movement every single day, but now I have room to use cardio as a tool, which is what it should be used as. So again, it's not to say you can't do cardio during a growing phase, or can't do cardio if you're maintaining, or can't do cardio prior to a cut, but you want to make sure that you're not doing a lot because you want to be able to add it in. The next thing is you just want to make sure everything is internally in a good place. So for me, a big thing was, with my cycle, which I got back pretty immediately after I started this growing phase, because I've mentioned this before, I had a period, but it was like far from regular and like substantial. But I wanted to make sure that I had 6 consecutive cycles, which I did have. So a lot of women, if you don't have a period, you should not go into a deficit. That is the last thing that you should do. The other thing is, if you just got your period back, do not go into a deficit the next month. You know what I mean? And that goes for other internal things. If you are having thyroid issues, gut issues, etc. It's not saying you can't go into a deficit. Talk to your doctor, etc. But you want to make sure everything is internally healthy, because how you feel and your internal health is really your body's report card. And if things aren't internally healthy, how do you expect your body to respond well externally? So for me, my cycle was a big indicator of that, but you can also just like look at things like, you know, is your appetite and hunger like regular? Is your sleep regular? Digestion, all of that kind of stuff should be in a really good place. The next thing is just your overall relationship with food and with your body. So, you know, if you are already struggling with anxiety around food, you know, you are struggling with like confidence issues with your body or body image issues, or you are struggling with binging or something like that, like any of that stuff, you should not go into a deficit. It's not going to fix the issue. Okay, I see so many people start a diet because they hate their body and they think it's going to make them happier to be leaner. You need to work with your relationship with your body first and foremost, because it's not going to fix the issue. You know, if you are struggling with binging, going into a deficit is going to make that worse. I can guarantee it. If you are struggling with anxiety around food, with restrictive tendencies, those are going to get worse as your intake gets lower, and like you are just gonna have to pay more attention to what you eat, right? Like when I'm in a surplus, I can basically eat whatever and like come to the end of the day and I'm like, okay, like fits my macros, you know? And you just have to be more conscientious of that stuff. So you really just want to make sure you have a very solid, like unwavering relationship with food and with your body before you go into a deficit. The other thing that I will add is like you really should just have a very good like foundation with like fitness and nutrition and tracking and all of that kind of stuff. You're just going to be able to execute so much more easily, and all those basic like healthy habits are already in place, you know? And I find for myself, like when I'm in a diet, like it really is so easy. I'm like, the only thing that changes is I'm like a little bit more hungry, which I'm not yet, but like a little bit more hungry, and like I have lower macros, and like maybe I'm doing more cardio, but like all the basic habits stay the same, like regardless if I'm bulking, cutting, whatever. And so I think that makes it just like so much more seamless. I also know how to navigate social situations. Like anything I can do when I'm bulking, I can do it when I'm cutting with like zero stress, you know? And yeah, I think it's, again, also just making sure like your intentions are in a good place. Like I just talked about this on my Instagram. I don't think it's wrong to want to like change your body or have a goal of fat loss, but like it needs to be because it's what you want, and not because like, oh, this is gonna make me more confident, more attractive, like whatever, you know? Like you're allowed to do what you want, feel how you want to feel, but do it for the right reasons. Do it for you, boo. But yeah, as far as like my fat loss phase goes, I'm like a week in. Tomorrow will be a week, so I'm really not far in. And like I mentioned, the past few weeks before this, just with my move and everything, I had basically just been maintaining. I got my food to a place where I was like, this is like, I'm at a really good spot. I'm doing all this in like a lifestyle capacity. I definitely could have gotten food higher. I could have bulked for longer, whatever. And I was like, I'm chilling. Like I have everything at a good place. Whatever. And my intention for this cut, one, like I learned so much and had so much fun sharing through going through a growing phase on my own. I've never done a cut in a lifestyle capacity, and I think that it's just gonna be really, really fun. It's not gonna last a long time. Like I really am just like, I just wanna lose a few pounds. It's not like, oh, I wanna lose like 10 pounds or anything, 15, 20, like not remotely close to that. Just like during my growing phase, I gained like about 15 pounds, 10, 15 pounds. And I honestly feel the absolute best I've ever felt in my body. Like I feel the most at home. I feel the strongest. I just feel freaking good and healthy. So yeah, as far as like physique changes, I think it'll be really, really cool. Going into summers, like see a few more lines, be a little bit leaner, tighten up a little bit. A lot of the clothes that I bought even in the past few months, like just at the end of my growing phase, I was like, it's really hard to button my jeans, like little things like that. So as far as like physique changes, that's really it, but I'm not looking to lose a lot of weight. It's such a fun mental challenge for me. I think growing has a lot of challenges just as far as like body image and like being objective and seeing the scale go up and like all of that kind of stuff. And I think cutting definitely poses its own challenges. And For myself, I even noticed this week, like I'm not doing any cardio, but like I have like a step goal, for example, and it's really easy for me to feel like, oh, because I just like haven't done that in a minute. I'm like, I just really don't want to do it today. And I'm like, no, Lexi, like this is your protocol, like you're gonna fucking do it. And I think a lot of people just think because of my history of like an eating disorder, like it's like easier for me to restrict or whatever. And like I'm just so far removed from it at this point. Even this week, my food is not low. There were a few days I was like, I just don't feel like tracking today. And I was like, nope, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. We're sticking to it. So there's that kind of aspect for me too. But yeah, as far as where I'm starting, so this first week I honestly just brought my food down to like the lower end probably of my maintenance. And this is what I do for clients as well. Learning, again, like utilizing what I use with my clients on myself. So I was at like, we'll say the higher end of my maintenance or a slight surplus at the end, right? Because I've kind of been like maintaining the past 2 weeks. So I said it's 2,700 calories. I'm not gonna bring myself all the way down into a calorie deficit, which if you guys have been around me for a long time, when I cut, I typically have to go on pretty low food. That's just how my body is. It takes me a lot of food to grow, have to go relatively low to cut. So I never will drop a client like, you know, if they're in a surplus, I'm not gonna drop someone like 500, 600, 700 calories. Like I would be fucking starving and I'm not doing that to myself. So I just dropped my food by like 300 calories or so. Kept my protein the same, just dropped carbs and fat and didn't add any cardio. I just gave myself a step goal. So I've been aiming to hit like 8,000 steps a day. First week, I actually did drop like a little bit, like half a pound to a pound. For me, the scale fluctuates a lot, but I think that honestly is just from being consistent. Like I never tracked on weekends or anything like that. I had a lot of days where I just kind of be like, close enough, right? So I think just like being consistent and also being more conscientious of like the little things like my sleep and my water did make a big difference. But yeah, my intention was not to like put myself in an actual deficit this week. It was to kind of like start myself getting there. But that's really how this all started. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, let me know what you want to see. Comment, share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss another video. And I'll see you in the next one.